Hey guys, Bix Weir, RoadToRuta.com, coming to you from the greenhouse. It is early on Sunday morning, day before the eclipse. Da, da, da. What does it mean? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of speculation. It is corresponding to a time when I do see some massive shakeups around the world in the economic system, in the Trump administration. I think there's a possibility he will either leave the White House or they'll try to take him out some way. Because we're at that time, the point in time when all the truth is revealed and the economics lies are exposed and all the insanity that's been going on for the last 100 years is laid to bear, which is great. Yes, very scary time. Very scary time, ridiculously scary. I get a lot of emails these days about, is the blockchain in the Bitcoin, in the cryptocurrencies going to be taken over by the bad guys? I think they would love to do that, but no, I don't think they are going to do that because I think the good guys are winning. And it might not look that way on the surface, but behind the scenes, I think the final battle is going to be exposed. It's so easy to win this war between the good guys and the bad guys, the deep state and the guy who's trying to take it out. And the way they win the war is by telling the truth. That's all it takes. Tell the truth about everything and leave nothing out. Obviously, the world will be very different. So I do see nothing but great things for the cryptocurrencies, and I don't see the bad guys usurping them. They might use the blockchain to keep track of all the assets that they already own, which is most of everything. If you think about it, Seed and Company controls the majority of assets in the world, and that's fine. You know, they stole them fair and square. But I do think there will be issues with mortgages and all assets that are held at Seed and Company, because they need an enforcement arm. And when people give up on their government, there is no enforcement arm to ensure that Seed and Company and those within the DTCC get to claim their assets if there's no enforcement arm. Laws are great, and a chain of ownership is great as long as you can enforce it. So I see at some point people say to their banks, you guys have done horrible things. I'll just keep my house. You know, no one's going to come and throw me out of my house because you've lost the upper hand, and the lies and murder and cheating and stealing has been exposed. So I'll just sit here with my asset, and you can keep your chain of ownership in Seed and Company, but no one's going to come and get it. That's the concept, at least when the system falls down. But remember, that's mass chaos. So I do think it will be mass chaos, but I think the cryptos will come out as a shining example of where we can turn without turning to the government that is imploding. Clearly, Trump is ready to do that, in my opinion. As part of the Road to Ruta theory, those of you who watched the video yesterday of where the original Road to Ruta theory came from, I got a lot of great comments. I always forget that people haven't been on this journey with me for 17 years of tracking down what's going on behind the scenes. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. A few things I want to talk about. First is Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. What's happening to Bitcoin Cash and what's happening to Bitcoin? I don't know. The winner, if there is a winner between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, has not been revealed yet. There's a lot of crap. Like I've said, there's a lot of crap still to go through. The moral side of this argument, which I believe is absolutely true, is the Roger Ver side that we do need a means of exchange in this transition, and Bitcoin is not a means of exchange; it's a store of wealth. And the SegWit thing absolutely, kind of locked that up as a store of wealth, or is. It's not done yet, obviously. Bitcoin Cash would have been a better idea. But nobody knows how it's all going to work out. I know there's a lot of people who say, oh my God, you don't trust the most brilliant minds in the world. No, I don't. Not at all. They have the moral integrity of an ant. But, my take was always, all right, if Bitcoin's not going to be a means of exchange and Bitcoin Cash is still kind of iffy, what else is there? Litecoin. It was obvious to me. And Litecoin obviously has been very stable in the $40 to $50 range. I think there's a lot of movement up for Litecoin in the future, especially when we need a means of exchange. I think Litecoin will be ready. Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash won't be ready at that point in time. So Charlie Lee, keep it up. You're doing a great job. And I want to tell everybody, at least on the crypto side, the way I look at it is I am putting together a portfolio for the future, not for trading out today. You can see your favorite coins jump 200% and then fall 100% and jump 500% and fall 600%. That'll give you a heart attack. And you keep thinking, oh God, I wish I sold. Well, if you wish you had sold, you probably would have sold long ago and you wouldn't even be looking at the coin anymore. So I take the stance of I'm not a trader. I know what's happening in our system. We're transitioning out of the old system into something new, something more advanced, something more exciting, something more sound. The blockchain is an honesty machine. I've been saying that for years. And that's exactly what we're going to need as our governments fail. And yes, I do believe our governments are failing. It's kind of obvious to see now. I said it a couple of years ago. People said, what are you talking about? No way the government will fail. But yeah, and the manipulation of the markets will end when the governments fail. And that's the exciting part from my end. If you're holding silver, bravo. It's the best asset to hold right now. Silver is also a hedge against the cryptos. I own mostly cryptos now because they've gone up so much and my ratios are all off. And I don't want to sell my cryptos because I'm investing now in companies that use tokens, crypto tokens for the future. And these companies are awesome. Salt Lending. Great example. Still absolutely under the radar for most of the crypto world and pretty much all of the rest of the world. I'm real excited about that. And the ICO is, I think it's almost sold out. There's 25% discounted tokens on sale right now. Still, I believe, go to saltlending.com/dashboard, I think is how you get there. Just go to Salt Lending, and I'm sure you can track down how to get involved and see if you can get some discounted tokens at $7.50 each. Salt is raising, I think it's $35 million total. I don't know how much they've spent. Probably not all that much. So you're going to see a lot of news about Salt Lending. They really haven't done any marketing at all, knowing that they were going to sell out the tokens anyway. I'm real excited when the marketing push starts and people see that this is it's a bridge between the old system and the new system. And the banks are going to be running to Salt Lending to say, oh my God, everybody's got lousy credit, but this is a collateral-based loan operation. So I think as the banks rush out of the old system into the new system, they're going to, number one, be buying Salt tokens, but number two, the rates that will be charged for crypto loans will probably be the lowest rates in the world, truthfully, because they're so easy to perfect the collateral, meaning you can get your hands on the collateral right away because it's sitting there in a separate multi-sig wallet and just waiting for you to pay off your loan so you get it all back. So you get all the upside and the downside, whatever happens to your collateral during that time, and the banks get access to a way to loan money out where it's real easy to get their hands on the collateral. If you miss payments, they'll just pull the payments out of your collateral. There'll be a fee for that. But when you think about it, when banks give out loans for houses, they like giving out loans for houses because of the collateral behind it. But the pain in the ass of repoing a house, and then you have the risk of the housing market crashing, which I do think it will at some point, and all that rigmarole, it costs banks so much to repo a house. With crypto collateral, it won't cost them anything, hardly. The contract will specify, the smart contract will specify when they can go in and take some collateral out or take all the collateral out. I think it just has to meet up with your original agreement, which is like 70 or 80% loan to value ratio. So if you miss payment and you can't make it up, they'll go in and they'll pull out some of your crypto and sell it and get the loan to value ratio out right there. And how easy is that for a bank? Yeah, and for you too, because you don't lose your house, you don't lose everything. You still have the loan on the books. It's a lower balance because they sold off some of your collateral. Eric Voorhees is involved. He's on the board of directors of Salt Lending. Eric is a real smart guy, and he's really anti-bank, which I love. But he knows, as well as all of us, that we need a smooth transition, and this is going to be an amazing thing, because if you think about it, if the banks do start crashing, the lending aspect of getting equity out of cryptocurrencies back into play, I think it's awesome. I think it's a great idea, and the execution is unbelievable, getting all the proper approvals, and I think everybody's going to be saying, damn, Bix, I should have bought that Salt Lending when I could get a discounted membership. So check it out. I probably next week it'll be gone. I think there's only 450,000 tokens left, and I do think. And if you want some more, go ahead, go buy some more. I think by next week it'll be all sold out, which is great. And then I think it's 15 days or so when the membership sale is all done, that it will start trading. The ERC tokens, the ERC20 tokens will be distributed, and it'll start trading on markets. I have no idea what it's going to do. As far as, there's been valuation reports valuing it from $10 to $160 based on other types of companies that do this type of lending. So yeah, it is an amazing thing coming at the right time. Is my take. I think that'll be one of the real winners in the crypto space as a business, and those are the ones I really like. Yeah, I like the currencies as well, because I know at some point we're going to need them. I think Litecoin is positioned to be a currency of easy and fast, and it's completely undervalued right now. It's trading at around $45, where Bitcoin is 4,100. And then you tap on Bitcoin Cash, but there's a lot of churning and upturning and fighting that will still happen in Bitcoin, and don't think that SegWit is the answer. There's problems with SegWit too, and how that will all work out, I don't know, and that's why I'm not participating in it. I think I own like 1 or 2 Bitcoin. But these other crypto, I own a lot of companies. Companies like ADDX. I love ADDX. I love Pay. I took a little flyer on this credit card company called Monaco, and all of a sudden it's just going crazy. I'm like, I don't know why. I thought it was a cool idea, the crypto credit cards, but there's a lot of competition in that space. But it's been going crazy lately, and bravo. I think it's the speed they can get to market. And PPT, Populous Token, I'm giving out 1 PPT for every private road subscription, along with a silver coin. So Populous is an amazing company run by some amazing guys who know what they're doing in that space, which is awesome. Pillar, little Jason F4's favorite. I think that's a great idea, a great concept. It'll take some time to get to market, but I like that coin as well. What other coins do I like? There's so many to choose from. Most of them I just, if I don't feel absolutely, that, this is going to make it through the chaos, because we're coming up to some economic chaos. A lot of these companies will not make it. A lot of the tokens that are without any use case will be gone, or just traded so low that nobody even cares. Because we're not going to need them. But the tokens attached to companies that are actually doing something and producing something that we're going to need in the future, I'm excited about those. What else is going on these days? It has turned cold in Oakland, California. A little odd weather, but nothing out of the ordinary. I think Cliff had in his data a very short summer, so expect the winter to start kicking in a little earlier this year. I would say the most exciting thing right now is the cryptocurrencies are about to go crypto crazy for September and October, and it's another coming out party, kind of like the same thing happened last, what was it, June or so. This one will even be bigger. I've got actually for the first time ever, I've got friends I've known for a long time. They've known I've been in Bitcoin, and that's all they know, Bitcoin, but they don't know anything about it. They laughed me off for so long, and now they're calling me. They started calling me and say, "Hey, what's going on with this Bitcoin thing?" So it's just creeping in, and these are pretty advanced guys and girls. It's just creeping into the consciousness, and I think Cliff's data has it going from 1% of the population adapting it, which I don't think we're there yet, adopting it, up to 3% by the middle of next year, and 3% is that magic number that kind of the whole world, if it's a good idea, they're going to jump onto it. And this is just, we are such in the early days, crazy early days. And if you've invested in the cryptocurrencies, it's the early days because it's still really hard to do. Go try to buy some Vertasium on EtherDelta. It's once you do it a few times, you get the hang of it. But you got to be a little computer savvy to make it all happen. And that will change over time. Vertasium, we're inching up to announcement time for Reggie. I think it's September. The Jamaican Stock Exchange stuff he's been working on down there. That's going to be huge, and it's just going to be the start for Vertasium. I'm really excited about that one. It's very volatile, obviously, because it doesn't trade on any big exchanges. But yeah, I think it's $1.25 right now, or around $1, screaming by, in my opinion, because there's going to be a lot more news. And then they're going to roll out the Vertasium leasing program where you can lease your Vertasium to people and not sell it and just get a passive income from it. Awesome. Brilliant stuff. And we're going to just sit and wait. The idea is pick the right coins that represent value in the future of these companies that are being built around the blockchain. The reason it's so valuable and so important is that we are coming to that point where the secrets are being revealed about how rigged the stock market is, how rigged the bond market is, how rigged the oil markets are, how rigged the comics and the LBMA are. And when we know that, we're going to demand truth and honesty in our markets, and Vertasium's just sitting there waiting. And it represents a truth and honesty machine, as well as other companies. But we will demand blockchain technologies be inserted anywhere there's bad things going on, and there's real bad things going on in the markets. Those of you who have followed my work for the last 15 years, and the work of GATA and all the machinations of what's gone on, it's clear that the markets are rigged, and they've been rigged, according to the Road to Ruta theory, since the 1960s, since the invention of electronic assets by Alan Greenspan, John Kemeny, Alan Greenspan's little buddy, Stephen DeVoe of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Really interesting character there, odd man. And he's the whole reason I came to understand the Road to Ruta theory and the secret rigging behind the scenes is that Stephen DeVoe loves puzzles. He loves puzzles, and he injected this puzzle into this comic book, and I figured it out. And then I ran from it from that point on, and absolutely it's been proved time and time again. Yes, Alan Greenspan is the biggest gold bug, always has been the biggest gold bug ever. And you might think it funny that in 1987, Ronald Reagan put the biggest gold bug in the world in charge of the Federal Reserve. And that was all because Greenspan, Stephen DeVoe, those guys were rigging the markets with computers behind the scenes to control the unbacked monetary system. And we were unbacked by the early 1980s, after 1971. And no currency has ever lasted very long that has gone off a gold standard. And when the U.S. went off the gold standard, everybody thought it was going to crash in the late 70s, early 80s. But the reason it didn't crash is because they put Alan Greenspan in charge of rigging all the markets. And they invented the petrodollar, which was Kissinger getting with Saudi Arabia to make sure they sold oil only in dollars and recycled those dollars through the U.S. stock market. And it's a game, and we've been played for so long. There's no such thing as a free market in silver. That was the big thing I learned in my GATA days, is hoping and praying that, we're going to break out of the bad guys on this move. No. All they have to do is click a mouse in the basement of the Treasury, and they can slam the price of gold and silver down, whatever they want. I would like to mention that how gold fits into all this. I believe there's massive amounts of gold. I've seen massive evidence of that. And there are massive amounts of gold. That does not mean the price of gold is not going to go up. I think the price of gold is going to skyrocket because there's more amounts of electronic fiat money. There will have to be a come to Jesus moment where everybody says, well, we got to recount the gold, and there will be millions of tons, not 180,000 tons. But still, the price is going to go through the roof because there's hundreds of trillions of dollars of unbacked fiat monetary instruments. That's how you weigh it against the gold. Can we use gold as part of our monetary system going forward? Potentially, but not as a means of exchange, obviously. Silver, I think, will be too valuable to use as a monetary instrument. I think silver, the price of gold and the price of silver will cross at some point. Silver is more important in other places. And we have the cryptos, too. So yes, I think the cryptos will be used as currency by the people, not by any government saying, you must do this. More than likely, the governments will adopt some kind of cryptocurrency as their form of money and give it out to the people and say, okay, you guys can use this, this, and this. In the United States, it's going to be a free-for-all. I don't think there will be any or very little regulation around using any currency. They're not going to make it illegal to use something else to buy something. And that's a good guy philosophy, and I do believe the good guys are going to win. Absolutely. And I think it'll be seen in the next few months that the shakeout in Washington is going to be the largest shakeout ever in the history of the United States, or probably the world. But it needs to be shaken. The swamp needs to be drained. And when they drain that swamp, we can return to a constitution, which hasn't been in play in decades. So it's real exciting. It's a real exciting time. It's a real scary time. There's bound to be a lot of chaos. They're trying to pit the left and the right against each other, blacks and whites, immigrants and nationalists. They're doing everything they can to start up a civil war. But remember what's going to happen when all these documents come out that say George Soros has funded everything. Look, all the Democrats are in charge of this. Our Democrats and Republicans are knee-deep in the pedophilia rings. Look, problems with our economy moving from a rigged system to an unrigged system. Look, everything's going to be look. We were lied to. Look. What's going on with the religions, all the secret documents in the basement of the Vatican will be freed, according to Cliff's data. Wouldn't that be awesome to know what they were hiding from us? So yeah, I'm real excited about the future, and we get to live through this stuff. That's real fun. We came here to live our lives at this time for a purpose, and I'm doing everything I can to fight for the causes that I believe in. And I think you should too. And figure out what you believe in wholeheartedly. Make sure you prepare as best you can for change and a lot of chaos, because it's coming. I would say the end of September, early October is when the big revelations will come. I heard today Julian Assange has released some more info on the Russian hack stuff. It wasn't the Russians hacking our election or the DNC. It was probably the good guys. But Seth Rich was involved. That's where the Russians got the information of Hillary Clinton's emails. Seth Rich supposedly was murdered, but I'm not so sure. His parents are clearly in on the game. They're knee-deep in the Democratic Party and the pedophilia rings. So be very careful of what happens there. It might be that they got Seth Rich to the hospital, and then killed him there, or they scurried him off and said, we're gonna put you in the witness protection program. We'll see. There's a lot of rumors of arrests that are about to happen of the big names. I don't see that coming until October timeframe, after the chaos hits. But there's also a lot of talk about Trump leaving, and something like that is in Cliff's data as well. And is it true? I don't know. Will he resign because the world isn't ready for him, and the left media won because they were on the airways, scaring everybody? Possibly. He might just be tired of the bullshit. I don't know. The only thing I do know, and I feel in my bones, is that we're in for a big shaking, and that shaking is going to shake out a lot of rats and shake up the system like it has never been shaken before. So buckle up, stay safe and sane, do a lot of meditation, which I'm doing these days, and good luck to us all. This is Bix Ware coming to you live from the greenhouse. I'll talk to you later.